Hey, 30-minute marketers. Today we're going to talk about low content publishing, looking at some book ideas for using mazes to make money online with puzzle books. Now, this all started and stems from the program, the application, Simply Maze Crazy, which you can see here. And of course, I'll leave a card up here in the right-hand corner where you can check out a full walkthrough of Simply Maze Crazy. But what I want to show you today are some of the experimental versions or the experimental version of Simply Maze Crazy. Of course, you can see here, please see the Facebook group for more information. The information where I get this information once you purchase Simply Maze Crazy, and of course there'll be a link in the description and the pinned first comment to get Simply Maze Crazy after I show you a few more of the features inside of this experimental tab. You can see there's a group here. It's a combined group for Simply Maze Crazy, Word Search Crazy, and the Puzzle Publishers community. Of course, Robert Borsak is the one that does this, has built Simply Maze Crazy. He runs this. You can see he does these lives on Thursday that he calls training, or Thursday training, and he walks through the updates inside of Puzzle Publishers as well as Simply Maze Crazy, things that he's seeing in the industry, things that he's doing, that he's working on, just special ideas, different ideas, and some great stuff like that. Of course, the stuff that's going on in the beta, as you can see here, with the ways that you can new ways you can build mazes inside of Simply Maze Crazy. And again, that's what I'm going to focus on today. Of course, if you were to go to Amazon and you were to look up maze puzzle books, you'll always be able to see the most popular maze books that are for sale there on Amazon to generate some ideas from those, as well as get creative in your own right. Of course, you can hop over to Etsy and you can see some of these are a little even more creative. Of course, Etsy being, the creative shop where you go to find things like that. You got an alpaca maze right here. You can see that maze. That looks very similar. I would say that that is a maze that has been created inside of Simply Maze Crazy just from the standard look and design of it. But lots of great ideas here for maze puzzle books from Amazon and from Etsy. And one of the things I want to show you again is inside of Simply Maze Crazy. We'll just hop over and show you the experimental version so you can see some updates here. If maybe you thought about checking out Simply Maze Crazy but you weren't quite sure that just the standard square mazes were what you were wanting. So you can see here the complexity level slider. It moves along here. You can see that you can select that complexity level, and of course you have maze types here. There's standard, sky, Valentine's, flowers, covers. You have starting points and ending points that you can either turn on or off. And then you have the maze effects, which right here, black and white, emboss, dot screen, grayscale, water ripple, and sphere. And you have the ability to edit the maze and then of course generate the maze. And let me go ahead and show you what that looks like when you generate a maze. Of course, if you generate a maze, you're just getting the square maze right there. Then you can go down here and you can use the maze effects. You can get a sphere right here. You can see some of the new things that are happening with the sphere mazes, some stuff that Rob is playing with inside the program, really bringing it to a different, whole new level. But the interesting thing, and one of the things that really caught my eye about being creative, is the ability to actually edit the maze that you see on the screen and give yourself more space. And let me show you what I mean by space. So let's say, for example, that you were creating a maze, but you didn't want it to be just a maze. You wanted it to be a adventure maze where people started here at this starting point and they got to this end point, but along the way they needed to pick up certain items. So let's say, for example, it's a like Dungeons and Dragons type thing. So let's say we're going to pick up a shield and a sword. So what you can do is you can click on Edit Maze, and then you can actually make more space. See how I opened this block up here? So I could add in here, say, a sword or a shield. Then I could go down here and I could open this block up and I could add a sword or a shield here. Now when they're along the maze doing the journey, it's not just about starting and ending. It's about picking up objects that you need along your journey inside the maze. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and save this maze. Now you can see how I did that edit again. You just simply click there to remove or to add space. So for example, I could add or remove space right there. As you can see, just a simple click on the screen once you check the edit maze. And to save that, you simply just click save, and that will download that maze right here. You can see that in the corner. I downloaded that. One thing I also want to share with you is once you generate that space inside the maze, you can see that the maze, if you want to change it to sky, that space stays. So those spaces that I cleared, and of course you can keep editing here. So you can see you could change that. So You could change this to Valentine's, and of course that's black and white. You could go to normal, and that's going to change the color. But as you can see, you have the ability to maintain that same maze format, the same maze configuration, just by changing the type and the maze effect. But now let's go back to that normal maze that we had. Of course, that was the standard normal maze where we made that extra space. And let's hop over to another program and let me show you how I'm going to add in that sword and that shield for that journey, for that adventure maze that I'm creating. So I'm going to go to a program I have called Snagit, and I'm just going to open up that maze. And that's the name of the maze that was downloaded right there. As you can see, there's a maze, and of course you can play with the size. You can always fit it to the screen, and you can play with it to make it as big as you need. Of course, do this in your favorite editing program. I just wanted to show you this as a quick example of what I'm going to do with this maze. Like I said, creating a sort of a adventure or a journey, and I have a sword and a shield right here that I'm simply just going to drop inside of this maze, and then just narrow that down, make it smaller, and drop that in right there. Of course, there's where we'd pick up the sword, and here's where we'd pick up the shield. And of course, as you can see, you could play with that and make your maze bigger, smaller, as you need it fit, as you see fit, to get your objects and your items in there. And now you don't just have a maze, but what you have is you have the ability to create a journey for the person that is doing the maze, that they have to follow along here, and then they have to go along and they have to figure out how to get to the point inside of the maze. They have to figure out which direction they need to go to get in there, to actually get to each one of these objects before they actually exit. Or maybe the object is just to capture, the princess or whatever. I just want to show you the new features that are inside of Simply Maze Crazy that allows you to get more creative with the mazes that Simply Maze Crazy is producing, and just to get your juices flowing and get those book ideas so you can generate and create your own puzzle books, as well as maze books, and just basically overall activity books that, again, you could sell on Amazon, Etsy. Of course, you could sell them on your own website, create your own books to sell, whatever you're doing, being a publisher. Again, this is a niche inside of what I call and consider low content, inside of this puzzle niche, inside this low content, where you can create these activity books. And Simply Maze Crazy is one of the tools that I use and recommend. And you can see the direction that this tool is going right here, with being able to create space and create new ideas and products from just the mazes that are created inside of Simply Maze Crazy. Again, that's Simply Maze Crazy right there. Once you purchase Simply Maze Crazy, there'll be a link in the description and the pinned first comment. You'll get access into puzzle publishers, and you can see all the great things that Robert right here, Robert Borsak, is doing to create a community around Simply Maze Crazy and to grow it into a puzzle publishing community where we all get together, we generate ideas, share ideas, and build bigger, better puzzles and books, and publish great content for everyone in our audiences. And I just want to share with you today. Again, that's Simply Maze Crazy. This is the experimental version of SMC, or Simply Maze Crazy. You can see the different maze types here: standard, sky, Valentine's, flowers, clovers. You can see the changes right there. You can see the effect, water ripple, which allows you to create a ripple effect, and you can save that if you want to play with that. And you have flowers right there, so you can play with that as well. And you download those in any stage. Go ahead, check out Simply Maze Crazy. Again, link in the description, the pinned first comment. If you have any questions, go ahead and just drop those in the comments. Love to hear from you. If this video was helpful, give me a thumbs up. 30-minute timer on the screen here. Click on that. Subscribe to the channel. There'll be another video here on the end screen for more videos just like this one. Go ahead, check those out, and I'll talk to you later.